What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. Got my squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. What up, Milwaukee? Welcome to the greatest half hour of your entire Tuesday into his course. Listen, let's get into this. Mark chapter 13, verses 28 through 33 in the New Living Translation says it like this. Now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things taking place, you can know that his return is very near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene before all these things take place. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my word will never disappear. However, no one knows the day or the hour when these things will happen. Not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father. Only the Father knows these things. And since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard and stay alert. Mm-hmm. Now, I brought that up because of Russell Westbrook, the point guard for the Houston Rockets, has made a decision to say after 1 year of playing with James Harden, after 1 year of being under D'Antoni's system, and D'Antoni is no longer there, has said, hey, I want to be out of here. That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more. And he, to me, is what the Bible's talking about, where he's looking at the signs and saying, hey, something's about to change here. We just got a brand new coach, so we're going to do a brand new system. I came here because small ball is what caters to my game. But now, y'all changing this up, and I don't know if I want to go with this change. A couple of reasons why they're saying that he said he wants out. One is because both him and James Harden both said they wanted Tyronn Lue. They said they had nothing against Silas, who was the new coach. Mm-hmm. They just wanted one with championship pedigree and some motivational hardware. They wanted somebody who could say, listen, I don't care how great you are until you get some of these here rings. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got no rings.
Right.
And so, as great as Silas is, 20 years on the bench, he still doesn't have a championship. Mm-hmm. Number two was, he thinks James Harden may be leaving to go be with Doc and Joel Embiid over in Philly. And he doesn't want to stay in H-Town by himself. Because he's like, listen, I did that once over in OKC. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be the only piece. That's too much weight on me. That's too much put on me to try to produce every night. He had to give them a triple-double for them to win.
Yeah.
That year he averaged a triple-double. Mm-hmm. He had to do it. And so I think he's looking at it and saying, listen, I'm at an age in my life where I may have one more big contract left. And I want to be with a team that's at least going to be contending for a championship every year. And it's not going to be H-Town without my guy. Thanks. And I don't think it'll be H-Town without D'Antoni. But for me, just the D'Antoni piece, I don't think D'Antoni's recipe was a championship recipe anyway. But at least I think Westbrook liked that style of play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so I'm looking at this, I'm going, okay. It looks like they're about to blow the Rockets up.
Yeah, I mean, I think when he came to the Rockets, it was kind of an experimental type of thing in the first place. And I'm, quite frankly, a little surprised that they were able to maintain as much apparent chemistry as they did. I know they were former teammates at OKC, so they had some familiarity. But given the personalities of both Harden and, Russell and what they've displayed in the NBA in their careers thus far, I thought it was going to be an oil and water type of deal. So they were a little bit more successful in terms of their personal chemistry than I thought. I think Westbrook, if he's wanting out of Houston, I think that's an understandable thing. If he's being, a prophet, a seer, and seeing things, reading, the times, as Scripture has stated, then go ahead and bail. And I think as far as his talent mix, he's talented enough to go to any team and, potentially be helpful to that squad. I think one of the things, though, that my knock against Westbrook, I like him as a guy, I like his energy. He gives you 100% all the time, and he'll get in your face, and he has been productive, hence the triple-doubles that he averaged for a season that Pastor Skip had alluded to. But I think that sometimes he's less disciplined as a player, and it has been detrimental to his team, taking an inopportune three-pointer or getting a costly turnover. And he's done that a lot. Now, you expect that from younger players, maybe first 1 to 3 years in the league. They're getting used to the speed of the game, the caliber of talent, et cetera, et cetera. But after the 4th, 5th, 6th year, you would think that there is some level of maturity to one's game, both as a tactician as well as the mental decisions that they make in different critical times, that you want to see some level of maturity. The Russell Westbrook we see today looks a lot like the Russell Westbrook we saw when he first entered into the league with regards to his decision-making at critical junctures. And so I would hope that if he does bounce from Houston and he lands, anywhere he lands, that he adds that one, I'll say, missing element to his game, which is that maturity to take over when he needs to take over, to take a shot when it's a good shot, and if he needs to be a bit more moderate in his shot selection and taking, like don't take 25 shots in a game, take 11 if we only need you to shoot 11 times because you only had 11 good shot opportunities, not you forced another 14, so you had 25 total. The 11 good shots and then the 14 forces, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, that's not a winning recipe for basketball, particularly when you get to the playoffs, which calls for more instances of pinpoint precision. And a lot of that comes from the decision-making process. So he's a great talent. I think any team would want to have him, given his, mix of skills and things that he brings to the table. But I think his flaws, though, can also come back to bite you as well. And unless he can demonstrate that he has gotten those flaws to a minimum, despite his great offensive weaponry, I don't know that every team is even going to be interested in trying to bring him on.
I think the one thing you have with Westbrook is this. I think he brings more positives than negatives to a team, in that we always have to keep in mind that he, like you said, alluded to earlier, he averaged a triple-double for a season, which means he ain't got no problem giving the ball up.
He can give it up.
And he can go get a rebound from the point guard position, which is very, because most point guards, you may get 2 to 3 a game out of it.
That's because he shot a brick and had to get his rebound to save the possession. No,
I'm not going to deny that. I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. But he brings, and whatever team he goes to, they're going to play faster. They're gonna play faster, more energy, and he's willing to hold guys accountable. He'll get in faces and say, hey, this is what needs to be done. And so he is without a doubt a floor leader. What his biggest flaw is, and he plays D. His biggest flaw is his jumper, because Harden shoots them same shots. but he just makes them.
Yeah. Which makes a big difference.
Oh, a big difference. But he shoots the same shots. He forces some that you like, are you kidding me? Oh, got him. You know, so you deal with that. But Westbrook, right, something happened in the last 3-4 years that his jumper got less consistent, and then his free throws dropped as well. Whereas he was like an 80% free throw shooter, he dropped down to like a 70-something, upper 60s, like a temperature. And so now we can foul you, go into the lane, and this ain't necessarily an
not
and
have
one.
to pay for it.
Right.
Because you ain't going to hit the free throw.
And here's the other thing that I think about Westbrook's game. As great of a game as he has, how much can that body take the pounding that it takes from him going to the rack? Dwayne Wade, to me, retired early because of how his body was beat up from all of that. But looking at, they're going to blow up Houston, but there's two things I look at with them blowing up Houston. I know they're blowing it up because they don't think it'll work. But look what they did. You go get a black coach and then blow the team up. So you did exactly what other teams do with giving garbage to rebuild.
Right.
So now you got Harden possibly gone, and Westbrook said, I want to go. And what is going to happen?
Yeah, nothing.
P.J. Tucker's now your leading scorer?
And I hear that P.J. Tucker is also on the block, as well as Robert Covington.
Yep. So now your main pieces are saying, I want out of here. You just gave him this with a rebuilding team again, which is what the history of the NBA has been. Give a black guy a head coaching job, but give him a team that don't have a chance of winning a championship.
Yeah.
Just give him. Only person who you cannot do that to is Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
And maybe McMillan.
Nate McMillan.
But other than that, but let's just look at this. Let's say they blow it up and they send off Westbrook. But what they're talking about doing is right now they're talking about, here's the rumor that's out there, trading Harden to Philly and then sending Ben Simmons. That's not another scorer for him,
Right.
for Westbrook. And it's another point guard. Well, if he's here, what you need me here for?
That's if we keep him at the point.
Right.
Yeah.
What am I here for? Well, you can't put him at the two because he's got no parts of no jumper.
Yeah, he's been working on his game. Well, I think that a couple scenarios can happen. One, the possible trades could, not all go through. And, Mr. Silas or Coach Silas is left with still a couple of pieces to work with. Number two, they could have, the whole cupboard could be stripped bare. And in exchange, they get a whole new batch of pieces, a la Ben Simmons, et cetera. So I think he will still have something to work with. And Houston, as an organization, has been pretty consistent in putting together competitive teams from back when Rudy Tomjanovich was, coaching, and Olajuwon and Sam Cassell and Robert Horry and Drexler and all those folks, even up until modern day. So I think they're going to be fine with what they have. I think the other, silver lining to this for Coach Silas is him being on the bench as an assistant coach for 20 years with a number of other squads and successful teams. I think he has something to prove as well. And even if you do take away the shining stars, as it were, that I would have probably preferred to have had, if them jokers didn't want me as the coach anyway, good riddance. Bye. Y'all didn't believe in me enough to say, well, hey, I'll give you a shot. I won't even go public in saying I would rather have somebody else other than you. That's ego-wise, it's disappointing to hear. And if I've paid my dues for 20 years, I've been an assistant coach, maybe played even more of an important role in those teams than I've gotten credit for because I didn't have the head coach title, but I had the head coach functionality, in terms of what I brought to the table, this is my chance to really show you jokers that I can jam. And if I'm able to have any success I would say being going 500 or better, even making the playoffs, if Harden and Westbrook leaves, that will show even more how good I am. I didn't even have the same talent that the previous coach and his administration had, and I still was able to demonstrate my chops as a coach, as a tactician, as an X's and O's guy, as well as being able to motivate players to give all that they had to give. So I think he's still in a good position, the coach is, whether those guys stick around or whether they bounce.
Yeah, speaking of sticking around or bouncing, I was reading in Yahoo Sports, and they reported that Giannis stated that he would stay in Milwaukee, but he is waiting to see what kind of moves the Bucks are making towards taking the team towards a championship. He said, the Supermax money, he said, that means nothing to me. He said, because I have enough money right now to take care of my grandkids and my family. He said, so it ain't about, money doesn't motivate me. Winning motivates me and taking care of my family. So that Supermax don't mean anything. What means something to him is, get me some help. Get me some help, because what I have is not good enough, and I let y'all bring in pieces that might have fit the team chemistry, but the team chemistry needs to change. It's too soft. One of the things we had talked about is, what would it look like if, because the rumor, Chris Paul is still on the mouths of people coming to Milwaukee. I think he'd be a great asset. What about bringing a Westbrook here?
Yeah.
Because I think his motor and his energy, his speeding up the game, I think would meet or fit Giannis's type of game. Because Giannis is an open court type of guy. But if he's got somebody that can run with him, and look to get him the ball in the open court, now he don't have to worry about his post move so much. Because I'd have gave you 35 a night just on these fast break dunks.
Yeah.
Highlights that I done gave you. So there's that. But because of that suspect jumper, he wouldn't stretch the D. Now, but you do have somebody else who can get a bucket whenever he wants to, for the most part. Westbrook can get to the rack when he wants to. But that mid-range jumper is suspect, and his three-pointer is suspect. So he doesn't have the ability from that standpoint to stretch the D to give Giannis more lanes and more space to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, and I think that the last point that you made is exactly the reason why I would be hesitant to pull the trigger on that. I mean, I think that he does have the motor. He has the excitement. It's going to be highlight reel basketball, up and down the court, high flying, dazzling. Ooh, did you see that? That's going to be great. But similar to Giannis's flaws, a suspect free throw shooter, jumper, kneel to none, you bring in another guy with those similar flaws. Westbrook is essentially a shorter Giannis. And I don't know if you improve a team by doubling things that are in need of improvement. Right. Now, going back to Russell Westbrook's discipline, if he were to, let's say, over this offseason, which is going to be, a month or two before the season starts back before Christmas, I think, this year, dedicate himself to, I'm only going to take, 18 to 15-foot jumpers. I'm going to not try to be Steph Curry and launch up the threes and all that kind of stuff, because my shooting percentage is atrocious from there, and I want to put the team in the best possible position to win. If he can somehow become an ultimate disciplined player, I would say you might roll the dice with him. But given that he's been in the league, maybe going on double-figure years now, maybe 10 or 11 years now, and we got the same Westbrook, I don't know that would be, the best move. A stretch, since we're just hypothesizing about things, would be his teammate Harden. May even be a better fit
Is that a stretch or a dream?
That is
or a wish list?
It's a stream.
There you go. There you go.
Because
it's like Goober's grape, peanut butter and jelly.
right. Because I think what the Bucks need, to your point about Giannis telling the brass, the executive leadership of the Bucks, hey, bring me some more players, that's not enough. You have to be a little bit more specific. Like the person saying, well, I just want some more money. How much you want? $20 more? $100 more? $1,000? $200,000? $1 million? How much do you want? And I think at this particular juncture, with the Bucks going as far as they did in the playoffs, 2 years ago, Eastern Conference Finals. This year, a little bit disappointing, getting put out by Miami, having the best regular season record, winning all this hardware with the MVP awards, Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year, still, falling short in the playoffs. You need some players, jokers that can really play. You need some other studs. And I think that with their makeup, Giannis dominating down low, his game being close to the basket where he's most effective, if he can get a guy who actually had a jumper, and James Harden got that, like him or hate him, he got a jumper, he would stretch the defenses. You wouldn't be able to put up this wall that the teams that have put the Bucks out the last 2 years, Toronto and Miami respectively, in the last 2 years, they've been able to do. You won't be able to do that anymore. You will get shot down. And so I think that strategically, he would be a better benefit to the Bucks. One, in terms of his style of play and what his strengths are, complementary to maybe what Giannis's weaknesses are. Number two, they would have another bona fide stud, so Giannis could not have to feel that he has to carry the load every single night, even in the playoffs. And if he does not, or if he comes up short, they're doomed. That won't be the case anymore. And I think the last thing is that because they've had this tug of war on who should be MVP, this little beef they've had, it'll give them a chance to kind of bury that hatchet and demonstrate on the same squad, hey, man, prove you the MVP. All right, then, every single night. So I think that friendly competition would help take the team's atmosphere to another level. And the expectation wouldn't be, well, I hope we win the championship this year. It would be, no, we winning a championship this year. I think it'll bring an extra attitude of immediacy to the squad if they were to make a bold move like that.
I agree. I think the other thing you're looking at with bringing Harden here is you're splitting the MVP votes. Mm-hmm. The same thing that happened in L.A. But what makes Milwaukee attractive is I'm going over to the East. So now I ain't battling LeBron 5-6 times.
Right.
I see him twice. Mm-hmm. And it's an easier path to the championship. You mean to tell me our biggest foe really is going to be New Jersey? And we don't even know if they're going to be full strength.
Right. Or if it's going to work out, because you got two flaky players in KD and Kyrie Irving. They're both very temperamental, and one day they can be up, the next day they can be down. There could be a lot of infighting and cancer in that locker room.
So, to me, that makes Milwaukee look very attractive to go, I think I could be that piece that gets them over the hump. Because they're going to have the easiest path. And I can let Giannis do all of the work regular season, and then I turn around and kick in playoffs, and now we're a dynamic duel. I can, for instance, Harden coming. He can drop from, his 38, 39 a game during the regular season, give you 25. That's all you need from me now.
Right.
You only need 25 from me because Giannis going to give you another 30. And I'm cool with that. Come playoffs, you need my 40.
You need my 40 in the playoff.
Right.
Exactly. And I can give them to you in the playoff.
Right. And, just to let y'all know I can give the 40, even though I've been giving you 25, I may put up 5 50-point games because I could do that on the East so much easier.
And every once in a while, if you have been carrying the load, I don't care what field you're in. I don't care what spot of society, if you are a father, if you are a breadwinner, if you are, the mama, if you are the sports leading guy on your team or leading lady on your team, if you're playing women's sports with WNBA, if every once in a while you need somebody, I've heard you done heard your spouse might, can you just help me? Can you just wash the dishes? Can you fold up some towels? Everybody that has been carrying the load can use some help.
Right.
Now, if that help not only gives you a little bit of help, but can do a whole, or you clean the whole house, you didn't just fold up stuff, you vacuumed and you cleaned the bathrooms up, man, please. That helps the leader and the load carrier more than you can even put a price tag on.
It would definitely change the chemistry of this team. But it would allow you to give up. Who would you give up? Because right now,
Chris Middleton first, and package with anybody else you want to go with him other than Giannis is who I would.
There's some major free agents that are coming up in 2021. Mm-hmm. Gordon Hayward's coming up. I don't know if he's fit here because he's too injury prone. Mm-hmm. Paul Millsap, DeMar DeRozan, Otto Porter Jr., Anthony Davis, but we know he's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Hassan Whiteside.
Any of them Morris guys available?
Yes. Matter of fact, Marcus Morris Sr.
Yeah.
He's available, which also means he would definitely be an upgrade from Brook. Mm-hmm. If we got rid of Brook Lopez, because you saw with L.A. how he consistently hit that three. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he stretched, and he played hard D. He's a banger, and he's an enforcer. Somebody would say, do not touch Giannis.
Yeah.
Because if you touch him,
I'm touching you.
Oh, my goodness, you're going to get touched up.
Yeah.
So I would love to see him here just for that piece and get rid of Williams, get rid of Wes Matthews, who's up anyway, he's a free agent. Mm-hmm. Get rid of Kyle Korver, he's a free agent. Mm-hmm. Get rid of Brook, all that money, go find someplace else. Not Brook, Robin. No, Brook. Keep Robin. But another one is not D'Angelo.
De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Yeah, that would be.
That's a speedster.
Who's productive. He's averaged, 20 points in the league, close to 10 assists. Played with the squad. Sacramento that has some pieces, but weren't necessarily all that good. He helped make them better, and I think with the Bucks, he would be a great fit. A bona fide all-star, somebody that can create his own shot and has a respectable enough jumper to where the defense would have to honor it and pull some of that, sagging defense down low that's built against Giannis, loosen that up some. I think the Bucks just succinctly would use an enforcer. If we can get that, that'll be extra bonus. But somebody that can give us some outside scoring punch, some consistent scoring, and can create their own shot at will, not just in the regular season, but also when it gets down to crunch time in those all-important playoffs as well.
I think that'd be great. Well, listen, man, this time flew by. So meet us right here again next week, same bat time, same bat channel, Joy 1340, 98.7 FM. Until next week, see you next Tuesday. Hey.